the stuff, okay? I gotta grab the links and the Rumble chat because congratulations, you kinda hit my bitch switch today. It has officially happened. Yes, I'm still pissed at Nintendo for even pushing the lawsuit. I'm going to disclaimer this whole video, this whole stream, with that up front. I am firmly of the belief that Nintendo is in the wrong and they're going about this all wrong. Instead of protecting their IP, is what they claim they're doing, when in fact none of this is actually their IP. It's actually stuff that they copied from other games, and I can prove that. So I'm not going to call him out by name, but there's a particular content creator on YouTube that has been covering Palworld. I have some corrections to make to what he said. Number one, first and foremost, we're gonna dip into this real quick. Gliding pals are not flying pals. That is misinformation. You can actively still use your flying pals as a mount. What they said was you cannot use your glider pal mounts. So your Celeray, for example. You can still jump on your Jetragon or your Polaris Agua and go for a ride. There is nothing in-game stopping you from doing that. And just as proof, live on friggin' on stream, I'm going to pull it up so you can watch me do it right now. This is the most updated version of the game. Okay? Daedra. Start game. I will show you the real changes that were made live. And I will show you that I am right. And yes, you could say, well, gliding and flying, that's a technicality. It is a legal difference, and it does matter in the context of this case. Alright, here's Daedra, my normal content creation account, which I actually need to max out. Okay, I clearly have a Celeray in my party. I cannot glide with the Celeray. Okay, fine, whatever. My stamina looks to be diminishing about the same rate, and the glide distance looks to be roughly the same. Don't care. Alright, next. I can still ride my Polaris. Gee, look at that. So you can fly with a mount. You cannot glide with a mount. Which is a stupid cosmetic difference that makes no friggin' difference to the gameplay. In fact, if anything, it actually helps. I'm going to show you why. Without getting too far into the weeds here. Alright, what was my map button? Oh yeah, I changed my buttons. Hang on one second, we have to fix a thing. Actually, I don't need my map, because that's not even how you fast travel in this game. I'm thinking... I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. C button. We'll use... Where is he? Uh-oh. So why can't I? Huh. It was just buggy. Happens. Right? Alright. Doesn't matter. The church or the town. It's the town. Alright. Proof and context. Let's go. Back about 2-3 months ago, when you could use Celeray in both combat and as a mount, there was an issue, okay, that I had. Get off the mount. And... okay. So, here's the thing. When this used to be a thing, you could not glide and keep Celeray out because you were using the Celeray as a glider. Now, you can use your Zephyr glider and still have Celeray active in battle. Doesn't sound like a massive improvement until you're down 4 pals in your party because you're only level 1 or 2. And this King Paka decides, you know, to eat your lunch. Point in fact. So now, just by the act of him being in the party, I have the full benefit of a Celeray without having to lose him in combat, which is, to me, pretty important, considering not every time am I going to sandwich a boss and fold him up like yesterday's laundry with just my guns, okay? So we've addressed that. This is actually a bigger help than a hindrance. I'm glad they fixed it. Finally. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's minimize this for just a minute and we'll get right back into the patch notes. Okay. Gliding will be performed with using a glider rather than the PALs. PALs in the player's team will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but will now need a glider. Okay, so you have to construct a glider now. Okay, so what? Let's take a look at that buff. While in team, boosts the performance of equipped glider, allows for fast and extended movement while gliding. That's fine, and it's also upgradable too, which it was originally anyway. But no, this is more fear porn by anti-Nintendo freaks out there trying to rally up and piss off people who maybe like Palworld a little bit more than they do Nintendo at this fucking point, which, by the way, I don't blame them, actually. And if they do keep doing this shit, if Nintendo keeps doing the lawsuit shit, instead of starting to think along the lines of, well, instead of lawsuits and litigation, we should be working with these people to add their content to our console, which will get us more money than a stupid one-time lawsuit ever could. And maybe start doing crossover events with Pokemon and Palworld, which would have been fucking awesome, by the way. And maybe enhancing their own game based off of what they see here. Instead, they want to sit here and play, you know, courtroom bitch fight because they don't want to make a fun game for players. They just want to make more of the same bullshit slop that we got in Scarlet and Violet, which is effectively what Legends ZA is going to end up being. It's going to be another Scarlet Violet bullshit fucking game. Which is why I'm not going to bother spending any money on it. I'm not even going to bother reviewing it. I have better things to do with my time. I'd rather wait for to be honest, the title coming to Nintendo that I'd rather review is that new Souls-like that's going to be coming to it from FromSoft. That I would spend my money on doing a review for. Absolutely. ZA, no. No, because it's more Scarlet and Violet bullshit. With a different title. I got better things to do with my life. Absolutely. Now, see, they had me back in Arceus. And another point that this particular creator made, again, not calling him out by name, but by content, was the flying too close to the sun with the creature capture mechanics and the summoning via the spheres and whatnot. So here's the thing. He's right. They did fly a little close to the sun, but not as close as he claims. There is a game made by the same maker called Craftopia. Now, I am going to pull up a video. It's not going to be my video, but I'm going to show you a thing. And this is going to blow, okay? This is going to blow Nintendo's bullshit case right out of the fucking water, okay? Because this was a mechanic in Craftopia long before, just to kind of prove my point, I'll pull it up right here. This game came out in 2020. The creature capture component of it was released the same time this game was released. So,
yo, welcome back to another Craftopia.
Gathering iron ore. Now, what does he have? Okay, so he did... Okay, so it's a little jankier looking, but here we go. Monster Prism. Okay? This completely cucks Nintendo's argument. Entirely. And here's how it does that. Watch this. Just watch. He'll do it. You gotta weaken the monster, just like you do in Palworld and Pokemon. You throw the sphere, and gee, would you look at that? It doesn't insta-capture. It has a calculation about capture versus not. So, what are we saying here? Oh, Nintendo says you can't summon monsters. Okay. Alright. 2020, their patent didn't come out until 2021 for the creature summon mechanic or the capture mechanic. Let's watch him summon this thing right into that generator right there. I know exactly what he's going to do because I've done it before myself. I don't have it on PC and my Xbox is currently disconnected because of power usage. The Xbox Series X can be a real power hog when it wants to be. So, I have it disconnected because of electric bill reasons. Also, I've been doing most of my stuff on PC. You know what, on that note, let's pull up Game Pass while we wait. And see... They have it. And I have access to it. Good. Cool. It's going to take too long to install, I think. Well, we'll find out. But the point is that Pocket Pair has had a game long before Pokemon had their patent for the third-person aiming and summoning of creatures. Before they even had their patent for that, Pocket Pair already did it. Also, yes, you can run on it yourself, which is funny. And yes, in Craftopia, your creatures can fight alongside you too. So before anyone decides to chime off with that crap. But yes, there you go. There's a sheep running on a generator, just like a hamster wheel. But yes, I can capture a monster in Craftopia, throw the sphere out in combat, and have the creature do the fighting for me too. This whole thing is a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of shit. And you know what? Craftopia is taking far less time to download than I thought it was. Imagine that. Hang on, we got someone using Drano without opening a door or window first. Alright, so yeah. Sorry, my dude, but Craftopia's been around since 2020. The patent for catching Pokemon and summoning them to fight for you was done in 2021. They literally have no ground to stand on. The only ground that they have is that they were the first ones to file the patent for it. Because Pocket Pair, and I think I'm quoting here when I say this, did not believe in filing a patent on something that would restrict further creativity in the gaming industry. And also, if capturing and summoning creatures from an object is such a problem, boy, are they going to have a problem with all the summoner classes and all the summoning items from Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, the necromancers from Pick a Game. So I kind of gotta, push back on the judges on this one. They got it wrong. They're absolutely in the wrong to rule in favor of Pokemon at all. 100%. There is the only precedent that Pokemon has is they were the first one to file the patent. But that doesn't mean that it's a legitimate patent. And the legitimacy of this patent is quite simply, it's bullshit. It is. It is 100% bullshit. There is zero credibility to these allegations at all. And by the way, they're not the first games to do gliding either. They're not. In fact, actually, the use of creatures and or animals to travel from point A to point B in a video game, as I recall, is something that was deemed not too long ago to be something that cannot be patented or copyrighted. Because it's too general. It is entirely too generalized. So yes, they're going too far with this one. I think Pocket Pair is just trying to appease Pokemon to get them out of the way, and effectively trying to disrupt the case. Is it a problem for us players? No. In fact, there's about a billion ways that it benefits us, really. Does it suck? Yeah, sure, whatever. But, I mean, there again, it's not really that much of a problem. See, what irritates me is the cry hards on here. Hello. They're gonna sit here and they'll say fuck Nintendo, Nintendo takes the L, yada yada yada. But they'll turn around and they'll bitch about Pocket Pair changing a mechanic. I'm sitting here saying, if you want to do the most damage to Nintendo possible, who cares about the changes? Let Pocket Pair make all the changes that they want, continue to financially support Pocket Pair, and stop buying Nintendo shit. I mean, that's the best way to do it. Hello, Mega2707. Welcome to the party. We're just kind of going over the issues relating to Pocket Pair and their little thing here. Certain people out there were making the claim that it applied to flying pals, and that was not the case. It was only the gliding pals. For now. We all know that patches come in waves, and we could get another update a week from now that says, yeah, flying pals too. I highly doubt it, unless they're going to give us helicopters or fighter jets along with our pals. So, But I would love to have a blimp. A floating blimp that I can use as a base in general. That would be pretty badass. But no, it's not as bad as people were making it out to be. A lot of content creators had it wrong. They read one thing and their brain thought another, I guess. But this does open the door to other changes happening, which I'm not really too happy about. But at the same token, them relieving the lawsuit by just changing a simple mechanic like this, and then adding a feature to where you can have your glidable pal that gives you all the benefit of gliding, and still having them out and able to do fighting for you, I don't see a problem with that. They literally took a negative and turned it into a positive. Okay, so what? The game still functions more or less the same. Does it suck that my glider doesn't look the same as a Celeray? Sure. How do you fix that? Make glider skins. Literally make PAL themed glider skins that you can earn in game. Don't make them a friggin' shop microtransaction thing. People are sick of that shit already. Just make it so you can earn them in game. Attach them to like random find chests or like rare boss monster defeats or something. Make it interesting. This is not the L that everyone's making it out to be. It can actually be a Nintendo L and a Palworld W if done correctly. A massive W. So, no, I'm really, really sick of people chicken littling over this game. And that's all that they're doing. Oh, Pokemon's winning because they changed one simple little mechanic. Okay, and your point, the game still plays. So what? It's a better version of Craftopia. Do I have an issue with Pokemon patenting stuff that's in Craftopia before they even issued the patent? Yes, absolutely. Is that going to change anything? You probably do. I've kind of had a sore throat all morning. Bad coffee down the wrong tube. But no, it is stupid. It's all stupid. It's all the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. If these same voices, and this is going to be a really big political hot take, so just bear with me here. If these same voices bitched so much about some of the stuff that's going on in the world today, the world actually might be a little bit of a better place because people might actually get up and do something about it. But instead, they focus on this one stupid lawsuit that has, like, zero bearing on anything, like, at all. The best way to get Nintendo's goat, I'm not kidding, offer up different glider skins. PAL themed glider skins would get their goat all day. And you know what? There's nothing they can do about it. Because paragliding is a physical activity that just about anyone with any amount of money can do, and therefore cannot be patented or copyrighted in a video game or otherwise. And the act of putting a skin on a glider or changing a glider to look a certain way, they can't patent that either. Because this is too general. Too many people have already done it. I don't actually need that, pal. I only pull this up to just kind of show the point. I mean, this alone right here. If I had this when I was fighting, early game on this character, actually, if I went back through the video archives, back before I got to, like, level, 13? If I had the ability to glide and have Celeray out, I can't count how many times, instead of dying, I would have killed the King Paka. So, thank you, Pocket Pair, for actually listening to a bitch that I had in a video of mine. I appreciate that. I'm happy. That makes me happy. And to Nintendo, you fuckers are gonna keep fucking up, ain't you? You're just gonna keep causing issues for the gaming industry. And while, yes, your Nintendo Switch console is probably gonna sell like hotcakes, eventually people are gonna get sick of your shit. It might not be over Palworld. It might be over the next game similar to Palworld. Who knows? Who cares? But eventually, you are going to wear out your welcome. And it is going to be specifically over one thing. Your constant desire to... Oh, shiny as in shiny creature. Yeah, I stopped chasing shinies in this area. Sorry, I didn't read your comment properly. My brain didn't process your comment properly. It's been a morning. Anyway, no, it's literally going to be because of the lawsuit bullshit. Literally, it's going to be the lawsuit BS that's going to drive fans away from Pokemon. I guarantee it. Because it's just a matter of time before Pokemon fans are going to sit there and they're going to realize that their other game franchises that they enjoy are also being attacked by none other than Nintendo, and it's just going to be one step too far. Okay. I ain't walking. Too lazy. Swimming. But, no, it's... Obviously, the patch didn't affect flying pals. If it did, I wouldn't be able to fly right now. No, I actually, believe it or not, and this is going to be kind of a funny thing, normally, this is my day off. I don't usually stream today. This was just something that kind of got my goat in more ways than one. And I felt like no one was actually speaking the truth. And, like, they were trying to either hype up more anger towards Nintendo or Pocket Pair, and they weren't being intellectually honest about the conversation in general. Actually, I'm supposed to be out in the garage doing metal sourcing and welding today. But, oh, and wedding planning. But, you know, I'm not even going to have a bachelor's party. It's just going to be, you know, what it is. I don't need a bachelor's party. I've partied enough for 1,000 people. Put it that way. Here, have this flaming bird. the flaming middle finger bird that I wish I could send to Nintendo sometimes. And, like, half of YouTube for being intellectually dishonest about topics. But straight up, I wish Nintendo would get its head out of its ass, drop the lawsuit BS, and start doing collabs with Pocket Pair. The world would be a much better place. It's like, it's the one thing that people my age, in their 30s and 20s that are still gamers, and their 40s even, have been begging Pokemon to do for a long time. A more mature version of Pokemon. Keep the one that you have, but give us something. Anything. Well, here comes Pocket Pair with exactly that, and instead of, you know, embracing it and hosting them on their platform and doing all this other stuff, they're fighting it at every turn and causing legal issues unnecessarily. It's annoying. But we need to be honest about what the changes that are being made to Palworld are. Not just universally blanket things and say it's the flying pals when it's just the gliding pals. Or, you know, it's the entire ball summoning mechanic as a whole that's getting completely changed over when it's just the summoning. Which, by the way, you can still summon pals to fight for you. You just can't do it in the fashion of throwing them at an enemy, which sucked, but you can work around it. Because in my opinion, this is strictly my opinion, when you lie about stuff like that, all you do is kind of discredit the fandom. You know what? You're not even really doing anything to me anyway, so just save some bullets. Not like it matters, I have enough to go around. But so, I mean, yeah, simply put, the game's still perfectly playable. They didn't do anything that destroyed the game. They just changed one mechanic that, in my opinion, actually changed the game for the better. Because now, instead of using my Celeray as a glider, well, I mean when he's not glitched out in a corner like that, he can be watching my back and fighting for me. Oh, look, a box. No, I stopped farming for shinies in the beginning area just because, like, I don't really need them. That ancient tech manual might come in handy, though. Nice. Now, this is literally like Pokemon if it was developed by, an American. Guns everywhere. Going up. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of things as I see it. Actually, this isn't where I need to be. I need to be over on my higher level content. I just did this to kind of to fill video content time for the stream, but now that I'm here, bodies need to happen. Loot to steal, bodies to make. Okay, now. Right, I don't have my... Actually, I just need a fast travel point. I don't need to be specific about which one. But... No, I think it sucks because I would have loved to see, like, Giovanni and Mewtwo as, like, guest bosses in Palworld, because Giovanni definitely seems like the guy who would have the secret Makarov tucked away in his jacket. And Mewtwo's kind of a badass. And that would have been amazing to fight against in Palworld. But because they're more interested in causing issues and creating lawsuits, we'll never get that. And I just get to sit here, shrug, and say, well, whatever. I picked the wrong base on Fay Break. This is actually just a money farm. Money and sulfur, anyway. What I needed was the fast travel to work. Ooh, that's a meteor fall. Where? Or a supply drop. No offense, kind of hoping for the supply drop, but it looks like I won't get to know until I get there. Gotta be careful because I don't think I have all the things done, but yeah. Oh, that's my fault for not paying attention. I think I have the drop. Yeah, I have the drops on death shut off on this because it was just too annoying to deal with on Fay Break. It's kind of one of those, it's a hindrance to me playing the game. Why would I leave it on moments? I don't really care about consequences on death. If I cared about that, I'd go play Dark Souls. Do I have... No, I don't. What I wish I could do is shoot from the paraglider. Uh-huh. Your bullets don't mean as much to me as his rocket launcher does. Oh, where's my buttons at? Well, they've also... It looks like they changed some of the graphics on the, Okay. Yeah. Really? Oh, here's another bipedal creature. You guys can... There. Alright. I get enough wood and stone from my base. I don't need that. Don't need that either. Yeah. That might come in handy for my fiance later. Of course, now that my flying pal is toast, I gotta walk all the way back up that. I designed the base for traveling via glider to other locations because I was having trouble with the anti-air defenses this place had. Ooh, you're purple. No. I could try it at some point, but I'm not doing it right now. Smokies! I don't know why I have a Mao in my party. That's not very useful. But no. Unfortunately, because of who is involved with the lawsuit, as fans, I think it's important for us to be regrettably specific about the mechanics that are being affected. It's important for us not to get negative about certain games and certain aspects of the lawsuit. Realistically, what this more equates to is mom and dad are getting a divorce or fighting, and we just kind of have to live with it, unfortunately. It sucks, but what can you do? The best thing we can do is just support the games that we like. When they make a change for one reason or the other, it's important not to be too negative about things. You know. You know what? Those gold coffers are for my team. I'm not gonna start using them yet. I actually, that's another good point. Like, we have an infinite money thing that can work in this game. It's called a Mal Farm. Giving us skins that we can buy with gold in game would be a really good way to make us use some of our gold. I am going to trade that one out. There we go. Nope. Need to go compress some depressos. That embarrassing moment when you have almost a third of a page of nothing but lavenders. And you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing to see here. Not a thing. Ragnarok. This is just a Phalaris. Thought I had. I do. Oh yeah, I did have one of those, didn't I? Well, certainly more useful than a Mao. Man, that fat butt makes for a real good shield to hide behind. And I don't know if I have a Starion saddle or not. I don't think I do. No, I do not. You know what? Let's see what it takes to go change that. I probably don't even have it unlocked yet. But we'll find out. Tech. Nope. Quite a ways off, actually. But I am getting closer. Yeah, it feels just like I'm using my, feels like I'm, just like I'm using my Celery, actually. Just doesn't look the same. But. Alright, I don't have the level to do that. And how far off are we talking? Alright, I have to get to level 52, which I'm almost at. And then I have... That is kind of a long ways. And no, I don't have a Polaris Aqua Saddle. Well, that's no good either. Okay. No, I'm not dealing with those things again. Alright, my fiance made the saddles for that. No. Oh, boy. Oh. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap about the whole thing. Pretty sure I did enough to show the changes that were made accurately in Palworld. So if you like the content, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'm not usually on here on Thursday. Again, this one kind of just got my goat. I do pop on here occasionally off schedule when things get on my nerves a little bit. But my usual scheduled days are Monday for Minecraft, Destiny 2 on Tuesday, and Fallout on Friday. Wednesday's supposed to be a workshop video day where I'm out doing stuff in the garage and, like, you know, have the camera set up and everything. I usually just upload videos. I don't stream on that one. But, yeah.